If you make too many bad choices, there's one thing will create a wall between you and God, and that's sin. There's no external surfaces, not your parents, whether your parent loves you or you had a good mom and dad or a good upbringing, or you went to church, and there ain't going to be none of that. It's going to be the choices that you made. Were your choices to please God or to please yourself? Balaam made choices to please himself. So, we'll leave that there. Balaam goes down in history as a cursed man, like Judas. Verse 9, and the children of Israel took the women of Midian captives and their little ones, and took the spoil of all their cattle and their flocks and all their goods. And they burnt their cities wherein they dwelt, and all their goodly castles with fire. So we're talking about a huge, vast area of cities, like a little small state. It wasn't just one battle. This was like a campaign. It was like a blitzkrieg across the countries of Midian. And they took the spoil and the prey, both of men and of beasts. And they brought the captives and the prey and the spoil unto Moses and Eleazar the priest, and unto the congregation of the children of Israel, unto the camp at the plains of Moab, which are by Jordan, near Jericho. So that the mother camp for Israel was right now where they kind of left off. They had their place right there, just by the Jordan, across from Jericho, which eventually they'll march into, and they'll deal with that. But they had the little mother camp, but they hadn't quite gone across the river yet, because Moses wasn't allowed to. And so that was kind of the mother camp on the other side of the river. So they bring back the spoils. Moses and Eleazar, the priest, and the princes, and all the congregation went forth to meet them outside the camp. And Moses was wroth with the officers of the host, the captains over thousands and the captains over hundreds, which came from the battle. Moses said unto them, have ye saved all the women alive? Behold, these caused the children of Israel through the counsel of Balaam to commit trespass against the Lord in the matter of Peor, and there was a plague amongst the congregation of the Lord. Now this might shock you here, what they tell the warriors as they brought back all these hostages from the captives, from the war zones. Listen to what Moses tells them. Now therefore, kill every male amongst the little ones. Little young terrorists grow up to be big terrorists, and they want to get back to their roots and seek out their ancestry and their continent, and go back to their old roots and their old pagan ways. And that's what happens. They're to kill every man, every male child. So when they grow up, they want to find their roots and start warring against God and Israel. Okay? So to kill every male, and they're to kill every woman that was not a virgin. And in that day, the virgins had a certain garb. They had long sleeves, and they wore the hood. And by that they were a virgin, and they were okay to marry as a virgin, but they were to kill off every woman that was not a virgin. You might think that cruel. Once again, that's part of God's population control. You keep little terrorists alive, they grow up and they want to do what Daddy did, be a terrorist. And the virgin women you can keep to yourselves, and they will eventually intermarry with the children of Israel when they convert to the one true God, Yahweh. They could also be used as slaves and servants and so forth. But only the virgin women were kept alive. Now, there's a little bit of a separation from the camp because of this thing that they did, because they shouldn't have done that. Plus, they had mingling with people that were traditionally, the history books say they were laced with communicable diseases of a horrid nature. So you are to stay outside the camp for 7 days. Any person who is killed, whoever has touched the slain, you are to purify yourselves with water, and the captives are to be purified with water. That's the virgins. On the 3rd day and on the 7th day, you are to purify all your raiments and all that is made of skins, goat's hair, and all things made of wood. So they had a certain purification water. We talked about that before. And to be rinsed in water. Eleazar the priest said unto the men of war which went to the battle, This is the ordinance of the law which the Lord commanded Moses. Only the gold, silver, brass, iron, tin, and lead, everything that may abide through the fire, you shall make it go through the fire, and it shall be clean. So you put something on through the fire, it's going to be pure. There's no bacteria living through an open flame. Put it on grates, put it over big fires. There's no bacteria living through that. That's why you go camping or hiking or whatever, take a pot with you, and you run out of water, you find a stream, boil it. You boil water, you ain't going to find nothing nasty in there after that. Once you boil it, it's safe to drink. So everything to go through the fire, take it through the fire. Nevertheless, it shall be purified with the water of separation, and all that abideth not through the fire you shall make go through the water. So they're to pass it through the water, and then the ceremonial rinsing of the special purification water. You shall wash your clothes on the 7th day. You shall be clean. Afterward, you shall come again into the camp. After having war and dealing with dead bodies and people that, especially that were laced with diseases, there's a separation time, so that God's great universe, just after the 7 days, anything that was any bacteria and whatever is going to dissipate and it's going to be gone. So they're to wash, be clean, and on the 7th day then they can come back into the camp. The Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take the sum of the prey that was taken, both of man and of beast, thou and Eleazar the priest, and the chief fathers of the congregation. Divide the prey into 2 parts, between them that took the war upon them, who went out to battle, and between all the congregation. Levy a tribute unto the Lord of the men of war which went out to battle, 1 soul of 500, both of the persons and of the beefs, and of the donkeys and the sheep. Take it of their half, and give it unto Eleazar the priest, for a heave offering unto the Lord. So they are separating all the livestock and everything, all the goodies. Everybody gets their little percentage. Not just the warriors that went out to war, but everybody in the camp, and especially the priests. And the Lord sacrifices unto the Lord. And the children of Israel, half, thou shalt take 1 portion of 50, of the persons, of the beefs, of the donkeys and the flocks, of all manner of beasts, give them unto the Levites, and keep the charge of the tabernacle of the Lord. And Moses and Eleazar the priest did as the Lord commanded Moses, and the booty, being the rest of the prey which the men of war had caught, was 600,000 and 70,000 and 5,000 sheep. Wow, that's a lot of sheep. But you're talking about a whole nation, several cities taken down and their livestock all taken. 312,000 cattle, 1,000 donkeys, 2,000 persons in all of women that had not known man, they were virgins. And half, which was the portion of them that went out for war in number, 300,000 and 30,500 sheep. And the Lord's tribute of the sheep was 615. And the cattle were 36,000, of which the Lord's tribute was 12. And the donkeys were 30,500, which the Lord's tribute was 1. And the persons were 16,000, of which the Lord's tribute was 32 persons. So they became servants and slaves in the Israelite community for the priests to get water, for, doing people's hairs, for cleaning, whatever. Braiding, knitting, sewing, weaving, whatever. Moses gave the tribute, which was the Lord's heave offering, unto Eleazar the priest, as the Lord commanded Moses. And of the children of Israel's half, which Moses divided from the men that warred, now the half that pertained unto the congregation was 300,000, and 30,000, and 7,500 sheep, and 36,000 cattle, and 30,000 donkeys, and 16,000 persons, even of the children of Israel's half. Moses took one portion of 50, both of man and of beast, and gave them unto the Levites, which kept the charge of the tabernacle of the Lord, as the Lord commanded Moses. So, of all these people, of all the spoils of war, they're to be taken up and spread out equally according to the Lord's direction here. Each tribe, the priests, half to the camp, half to the soldiers, that it was well divided. Everybody got their cut, and that's only fair. Because not everybody can go out to combat. Some people have to stay back, tend the showers, tend the mess halls, tend the mail, do the hospital, take care of the vehicles, the camp, the cleaning. Everybody has their part. Verse 48 of Numbers 31. And the officers which were over the thousands of the host, the captains of thousands, captains of 100, came near unto Moses, and they said unto Moses, Thy servants have taken the sum of the men of war, which are under our charge, and there lacketh not one man of us. We have therefore brought an oblation for the Lord, that every man hath gotten of jewels, gold, chain, bracelet, rings, earrings, tablets, to make an atonement for our souls before the Lord. So, I don't know if you understood that, but it was be kind of like, D-Day. They went out to need D-Day to, storm the beaches of Normandy, and not one soul was killed. That was not the case in Normandy. There was so many dead. I don't think nobody ever really wants to commit to how many actually died there. And same with the Russians. How many Russians died in World War II? It was nobody really wants to fess up. World War II was brutal. They thought World War I was brutal. World War II was the brutalist so far in history. But for the Israel's conquering of an entire nation here in all the cities, not one person was killed. And the glory goes to Yahweh. The glory goes to Jesus Christ, the Son of God, because he had his hand. So if you join the military, don't worry about dying. If you die, God has allowed it, and you're going to go and be with the Lord if you're his child. And if you're not his child, make that decision right now. Be his child, Jesus Christ. Come into my heart, forgive me of my sin. I want to be with you forever. And love him, serve him always. That's our purpose in life. To love Jesus Christ and praise our Heavenly Father. How much easier can it be? Why would you want to reject that? And now back to our text here. So they gave all that they could and all their percentages to the Lord in praise and offering. Everybody was spared. Everybody came back. No women was without their husbands. No children were without their fathers. Everybody came back from the war. Unprecedented. And Moses and Eleazar, the priests, took the gold of them, even all the wrought jewels, and all the gold of the offering, and they offered up to the Lord of the captains of thousands, of the captains of hundreds, was 16,750 shekels. For the men of war had taken spoil, every man of himself. And Moses and Eleazar the priest took the gold of the captains of thousands and of hundreds, and brought it unto the tabernacle of the congregation for a memorial from the children of Israel unto the Lord. When you reap it in, let the Lord reap it in. And if you're not reaping it in, and you're just struggling to feed your family, that's okay. Then that's your lot in life right now. That time might change one day, but if it doesn't, you just keep moving on. And the man or the woman that has this, that God's filling their basket, and they're taking their baskets and sending them right back out to the Lord, let that happen. It's a joy. And we don't know why, because it is. It is what it is. But the flip side is, God has chosen the poor of this world to be rich in faith in the heirs of this kingdom that God has promised forevermore. That's a good thing. Everybody has their little place in life. Be happy and content with the situation God has put you in. Give praise to the Lord, for He is worthy. He'll see you through in every aspect. So from the Bears Gym and the book of Numbers, we talked about a lot of different things today. And whenever you read the Word of God, you're going to learn something. You're going to grow slightly. You're going to have that much more I love you, Jesus, in your soul. And if you don't have I love you, Jesus, in your soul, do so today. With your own mouth, in your own heart. Come to Jesus Christ. You'll never, ever, ever regret it. God bless you, friends. We'll see you next time.